And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a 2 for Tuesday, as Tony would say. Literally for him. Obviously, we got Binge Buddies later at 8. How you doing, sir? I hope well rested.
Actually, yeah, dude. I would say I got like some of the best rest I've had in a pretty long time last night. Not gonna lie, dude.
Love to hear it.
Which was awesome. Had a great morning too. The run unseasonably warm this morning, which is fine, I suppose. But yeah, definitely got a good sweat going. Made some breakfast. Actually made some breakfast for Mike and Renee as well for when they get here, dude.
What was it?
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
Staten
some
Island
bagels
bagel.
from home. Yes, dude.
There really is nothing like the Staten Island. Is it the everything egg?
The everything.
Yes.
Dude.
Okay. And what's? I'm sure there's a bunch of different places, but what's your go-to on the bagels?
I would say we frequent the Manor Road Deli the most for those bagels.
And no
those
relation
big
to
bagels.
the Manor House.
Well, it's right next door,
but it's
so
not.
like that whole mart is like called the because it's like the road is called Manor
Separate
Road.
businesses though, separate owners, but just part of the same area.
I'm actually not sure who owns the land necessarily. If like that strip is just owned by one person or what. And if the Manor House is connected to it. But honestly, if it is all one person, they're probably fucking swimming in it, dude. Oh, my God.
It's almost like they're an XRP factory.
The rent, dude. Oh. Don't you wish
could-
you just like inherited a nice little strip mall, dude? That you just collect around, dude?
Yeah. But hey, I mean, I think honestly, at the end of the day, what's really going to be more valuable, though, XRP or the strip mall?
That's a great,
Well, it depends how much you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously.
How was your morning, Brian?
Morning pretty good. I have to say though, I think I'm gonna get back to. We talk about it all the time. No. I'm saying because I'm starting to like. You remember how it would be like, protein bar all day, like, and then just have my dinner. So I'm trying to just have that for breakfast, the protein bar, and then have something for lunch. But I think I'm gonna switch it to go to the store, get the eggs, and I feel like I need that in the morning. A little more sustenance.
It's
just annoying though because I like taking. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I like taking a half-hour shower, and it just what I mean. I'm gonna take a half-hour shower, then I'm cooking eggs. I mean, what time am I gonna get up? 4? Like it's just like I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely agree with that, dude. The half-hour shower in the morning is nice.
Yeah, but your average? I'm guessing. Hold on, let me guess. I'm gonna say 12 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. I would say like my morning routine. I'm trying to get in and out of the bathroom in 25 minutes. So that includes like brushing your teeth, fixing your hair.
And then how many strokes of the stash with the comb though?
Too many, dude. Too many.
Because does it really get that naughty, or is it more a habitual thing for you?
I guess probably maybe by now it's more habitual, but sometimes it does like not that it gets naughty, but some hairs get out of whack.
So you want everything like just in order.
Straight, exactly.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. But I definitely want to start doing that. I think it'll be better. But it just, I don't know. I feel like now for you, if there's no issue with time, like you don't mind cooking at all or no?
No, I love cooking.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I guess it's just like the cleanup, and then I feel like it's difficult for me to make something that's going to be as good as what I would get out. I guess unless you get the Staten Island bagels, but then you have to buy all the season. I don't know. To me, it's a pain in the ass.
Well, I mean, eggs could be something that's simple. Just salt and pepper in the egg. You don't need much, A little salt and pepper. You want to toast with some butter. That's simple. It's quick. It's easy.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, once you get that down, then you can maybe maybe you buy an onion, dice up some onions with the egg, and then you have that, dude. And maybe some sausage in there or meat.
Yeah, but see, and then by the time you get doing that, then with the half-hour shower,
you may have to cut down in the shower, Brian.
Can't.
Come on, dude.
I can't explain it though. I've always been like that. Like when I used to do swimming like after I was done, like before I go home, I would probably be in there for an hour.
That's wild.
Just, I don't know, the warm water. And then it was funny too.
The pool, dude.
When I lived at home, like I would sometimes get in there before my dad. And this is like, you know, and he was getting up like earlier back then because this is a while ago. And like, but I'd be in there forever, and he would get tight. Like if he had to go
No
somewhere.
hot water?
Like, no, not no hot water, but just how long I'd be in there, like banging on the door. It's just like, I don't know. I can't do it, but it's interesting. So first, like in the morning, that shower, it needs to be extended. But after the gym shower could be a quick one. I don't know. Just in the morning, I guess it's just a wake up, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially now taking the coffee hiatus. You know, I just feel like it's extra needed, Tony.
Okay, dude. Well, then you got to figure out what you're doing with breakfast then.
I know.
You gonna wake up earlier?
I don't really want to, though.
Well, of
you know what
course
I mean?
not. But you're gonna.
But I
Something's
guess-
got to give,
Well,
Brian.
well, I guess I could just do the protein, keep doing the protein bar, and then just get something for lunch. And then this way I don't have to get up early. But then it's, I always got excited about like getting the lunch out, how much that adds up over the course of a week, over the course
Yeah.
of a month, over the course of a year.
You're gonna have to meal prep your lunch,
And then,
and then it's like more time the night before. What are you doing?
but it's just like, I don't want the chopped meat, dude. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't have to chop meat for lunch. You can do something else. I know. Well, you don't like turkey, right? You don't like sliced turkey.
No.
Some cold cuts, dude. You know, some ham, like no roll or anything, just like some like rolled up ham, maybe a little thing of mustard, some celery, carrots, with some hummus.
As our good friend Matthew Gabriel would say, isn't that beat, dude?
It sounds pretty good to me right now, dude. Come on.
I don't know. No, but the ham too. I need it to be. I know again with the
Honey
particulars.
glazed,
Yes,
dude.
yes. No, but like cut from a big ham, like not the deli meat. Like I'm just not a deli meat guy.
Well, then I don't tell you, dude. Then you better get working on that ham, Brian. Okay.
I wish like it wasn't bad for you. I would just get Gaetano's for lunch every day because honestly, that place is just so good.
True. Talk about adding up, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, $100 a week.
I know, but at least like you feel like it just they never miss. Like it's always
they really don't ever miss.
perfect. So something to consider. We'll figure it
We'll
out.
keep you updated.
How was the chicken and rice for you and Michael last night?
Honestly, dude, it was pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie. It was cool. I had some leftover rice from I don't know when did we have Saturday? Maybe Saturday night. My family and I had
What
Chinese
type
food.
of like pork fried rice or something?
No,
or?
there's no regular white rice.
White rice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So then you take over the leftover white rice, and I made some like fried rice with it. Went to the store, picked up like some seasoning and some sauces, some chicken, onion, scallions.
So
some
it
peas.
was like a homemade like Chinese type of dinner.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I guess you can say home. I mean, yeah. I guess it was.
Now, what do you do for the sauce on that?
So a lot of soy sauce. I got like this chili red pepper paste.
Oh, okay.
From Stop and Shop. And that was pretty much it. I guess afterwards drizzled like some of the sriracha on it, basically.
Okay, yeah.
it's pretty
That
good.
does sound pretty good. Yeah. Oh, like good Chinese food. Because we got it.
So good.
I'm trying to think. We got it at your house once.
We
didn't
did,
we?
yeah.
That was.
after Michael K at the Beach Bash or something.
Oh
dude.
yes, dude. Oh my god. What's the name of that
Ridiculous,
place?
dude.
That place is
Empire East, my
Empire
favorite, dude.
East,
oh,
dude.
Been there for as long as I've been alive. Dude.
Wow.
Been ordering Chinese food from them.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Yeah. Wow. Really could go for that. But
Oh.
we'll get it figured out.
Dude, we had it. That's where we got from on Saturday. Literally, I think I had like 3 giant plates full of Chinese food.
And I
dude.
know
The
it's
chicken
so hard to
broccoli, gyro,
narrow it
Oh,
down.
You're not. Don't ask me, dude.
No, but just give me it. Like you could have multiple things, but what's your like ideal? You know, you could get whatever off the menu for
Like one
dinner.
thing.
Not one thing, but just
Oh.
like what would be like your meal? Like you.
So like my go-to plate
Yep.
would be like General Tso's chicken with some pork fried dumplings. And again, it probably I would say with lo mein on the side. Sometimes, white rice also is fine too.
And is it a veggie lo mein or?
House special lo mein with shrimp and chicken and pork and vegetables and
Oh my god, yeah.
so good. Oh my god.
I love the sesame chicken, a crispy sesame,
Sesame
chicken.
chicken, so
Like
good.
I know there's not
dude.
much that much difference. And I don't know if it's I grew up with the Sows first, but I definitely like the sesame better. I don't know.
Really?
For you, is it not like it doesn't really? There's not much difference.
Kind of interchangeable, I suppose. But I mean, I would get General Tso's all the time. So sometimes restaurants have sesame. Oh, we can substitute. We have sesame chicken, which is, I guess, equal kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
The General is better, dude. And then my cousin was home, so she likes chicken and broccoli and the brown sauce. We got that too. So then I'm like mixing and matching the chicken. My mother had shrimp.
And then have a crab rangoon.
No crab rangoon. No
But you
crab
like
rangoon.
crab?
Love crab
Okay,
rangoon.
okay.
Yeah,
And-
but again, limit. I can't go crazy.
And then the
with it.
vegetable egg spring rolls are fire.
Yeah, we had regular egg rolls.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
For me, it's the same thing. But just saying the crispness of that is unbelievable. And then
so fucking
have the wonton soup.
The wonton soup. Oh, the soup. I like egg drop wonton soup.
Yes,
You like that?
I've had that. That's good.
Unbelievable.
And
dude.
one last thing, because I know I could talk Chinese food forever. Nonsense. And I understand you want it to be healthier, fine. People say that I like the steamed dumplings better than the fried.
That bullshit. No way, dude.
No way.
No way, dude.
So just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But couple comments. What do we got here?
Matthew Gabriel, tip top of the morning, says, okay. And then that's it, dude. Kev Dew says, let's go, dude. We want the smoke, dude.
Just
the
not
smoke's
in the
coming.
picks, dude.
Oh. Tommy Donovan, speaking of wanting the smoke, says, let's go, boys. Rangers better get their heads out of their collective asses against Nashville tonight. Kids better see some big minutes. Absolutely.
100%, Tommy.
1,000%, dude.
1,000,000%.
Josh B, as always. What up, fam? Quick stop by. Show my love. Back to class. What's up? Hitting the books.
The
Josh
class,
B this morning,
the
dude.
corporate, the nonsense.
You wouldn't last, dude.
Oh, no way.
Class.
No way.
You'd be daydreaming about the Chinese food, dude.
I swear to God, though, everyone would just say like, oh, like, and I know I've already mentioned this before, but oh, you're not trying, whatever. But like, I just couldn't pay attention and couldn't study. Like, it just didn't, especially on like stuff that's very monotonous, Tony. Like, you know what I mean? I guess if I was interested in it, it would be different. But that was the problem. The monogamy. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
That's
so
all right,
I
dude.
did it, but I couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
I wonder how Josh B feels in his class. You think he's like taking notes and attentive and on top of the ball?
I
here?
think even though he's saying back to class, I think
yeah.
he's sneaking one little ear pod right
Oh,
up here, listening to the show, right? No?
Yeah. And, honestly, I may go as far as to say that I think he enjoys that class, dude.
You really think?
I think he does, dude.
Corporate
I think he really
America.
does. Yeah, I think he, proud guy of his job, wants to make sure he knows everything, on top of the ball, puts in the hard work.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to talk to him about this in greater detail next time for sure.
Yeah, during his break.
Snack
time.
But a lot to get to, so let's get started in the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Mako Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So we are approaching code red territory for the TCA on the picks, because after last night, we sweep the Monday Night Football doubleheader to bring our record this year 28-17. We were definitely under 500 last year, Tony, right? Had to have been.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe a couple, but
Yeah,
definitely
in
under.
the regular season. Yep.
Yes, and then obviously the dominance that has continued since last year's postseason. But they sit at 22-1. So I guess that would be what, 6.5 games back.
Correct.
So basically, they need a complete collapse out of us the past next 3 weeks. Basically, like a 2-7, a 1-8, which we know is not going to happen.
Not tonight.
And that would be with them sweeping the board. So that feels pretty good. It was definitely a nice recovery year. And I think too, the fairness of picking first is big. But I also feel like we were smarter this year as well. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I would say so. Barring a couple weeks of the Jets and then taking a couple chances on the Chiefs covering.
Right.
But I mean, compared to last year, it's freaking night and day, dude. I mean, I feel like we were just stupid picks last year. I don't know what we were thinking, dude.
Yeah. Like a stupid pick would have been
Trying to be
like
cute.
Yeah, like for instance, like saying, "Oh yeah, like the Bears +7, they'll keep it close." Yeah, right.
Like we probably would have taken the Panthers over the Cowboys last year.
Yeah,
Like definitely.
Cowboys,
This is it, dude.
Yeah. No way, dude. Oh, the Jets will lose to the Jags, like something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Vikings, as you all know now, moved to 12-2. Still an opportunity here to actually win their division and be the number 1 seed in the NFC, virtue of that Detroit loss over the weekend. Win this game 30-12. And really just dominate the Bears. And I think it was interesting because obviously Minnesota, when you're 12-2, you've been dominant all season long. But I feel Sam Darnold didn't even really have his best game.
No.
You look at the numbers. 24 of 40, 231, so 16 incompletions. And just watching the entirety of this game, it just seemed like there were a lot of missed throws. I think Jefferson had a drop as well.
Yep.
But just wasn't as accurate as we've seen, which was interesting because this Bears defense, which had started the year pretty strong, has looked very vulnerable the past few weeks, and it seems like the team as a whole has not been able to get over the Hail Mary loss to the Washington Commanders, and clearly because they haven't won a game since that happened. Aaron Jones was effective on the ground in this one. 86 yards and a score, which is, I think he's really had, a renaissance season here. There was a lot of concerns going into the year, him getting up there with the years, but he's been healthy, he's been productive, and he's closing in on yet, a 1,000-yard season here, as he's up to 979, 4.6 yards per carry, and this would be his 4th 1,000-yard season of his career, and switching from the Green Bay Packers to the Minnesota Vikings, so that has been a match made in heaven. At receiver, Jefferson, after having that stretch where up until a couple weeks ago he hadn't had any receiving touchdowns since October, has come on strong.
Crazy.
He was 7 for 73 with a score, and a guy that people don't really talk about too much. Jordan Addison has really come on strong this year. He had 7 for 63. So he really gives them a threat at the number 2 wide receiver position this year so far. 51 for 771 and 7 touchdowns. So the 22-year-old receiver out of USC producing, in his second year. So the Vikings feel like they're really loaded on offense, and they don't always go to him. But I think T.J. Hawkinson, who had 5 for 52 last night, remains one of the better tight ends in the league, and I know he was injured as well. So the numbers aren't there, but that doesn't matter come playoff time. He's a guy that, gives defensive, coaches nightmares in terms of a mismatch, having the linebacker come over and cover. And defensively too, one of the stronger units in the league. Last night had 2 sacks, but overall near the top of the list. In sacks on the season for this Vikings defense. And Andrew Van Ginkel, who came over for the from the Dolphins, has paid huge dividends. And then the fact, too, that Harrison Smith, who I believe at this point the safety is about 35 years old.
Harrison.
Multiple-time All-Pro safety here. Yeah, 35 years old. The fact that he's still producing. This Vikings team is dangerous. And before, I get to the Bears here, Tony, just kind of curious, so you get the win here. Darnold wasn't great, but overall, it's been an outstanding year for him. I mean, any like, I don't know, just like trepidation just in terms of Minnesota once they get to the playoffs, tougher teams. We saw this matchup be close the other time they played, just with Darnold going against like a tough defense, I guess whether it's like on the road in Philadelphia, hypothetically, something like that. I mean, do you think this team can win playoff games?
Yeah, dude, I think so. I mean, not for nothing. I understand, there's a lot of talk about Darnold, obviously not in the MVP conversation when you compare him to other great quarterbacks around the league, Lamar, Josh Allen even. And obviously other players around the league even being in the MVP conversation. I mean, Darnold just not in there, but I wouldn't say like I wouldn't say he wouldn't be competitive against these teams. I mean, not for nothing, the team is 12-2, and I mean, it doesn't really necessarily like those 2 losses aren't because of Darnold, I mean, one of their losses was 31-29 loss
Green
to
Bay and Detroit.
Detroit and
The Rams. The Rams. Okay,
yeah.
they beat the Packers.
And I mean, if you look at that, I mean, yeah, Darnold threw a pick, I suppose here, but that wasn't like a game-ending pick here. I understand 1-possession game. You're like, if he didn't do that, you could argue, sure, but I mean, you could argue, it's not like he was the only one making mistakes out there. Same thing against the Rams. I mean, that was a game, he threw no picks, and they still ended up losing, So I think there's other reasons why this team would be losing a playoff game, not necessarily just because of Darnold. I would anticipate and expect him, honestly, to do well in the playoffs. And, the Vikings are a really, really good team, dude, and just like wholeheartedly, obviously like their receiving core is great. You mentioned Addison. Obviously, you know about Jefferson. T.J. Hawkinson was a nice target for Darnold last night as well. And I mean, not for nothing, like they're a great defense. That was probably the biggest thing about, I think, last night's game for me watching it. I mean, the Bears just had nothing going offensively.
No, a terrible offensive line.
Literally terrible O-line. And I mean, I think it was like late in the first half, right, where Darnold did throw the pick. But it's like, offense comes on for the Bears, and they get stopped right away. They're forced to go for it on a 4th down. Swift gets stuffed for the second time. And then it's like ball gets turned over. Darnold ends up rushing down the field. They're getting a field goal, but it's like, for the Bears, I mean, that's just so disheartening, and especially if you're the Bears defense, not for nothing. It's like you're working hard, and the offense is putting absolute shit out there. But obviously that's because, they had tremendous pressure on Williams. They had a, solid secondary. It seems breaking up plays, forcing, some tough throws for Williams. So I don't know. I think the Vikings would come into the playoffs and could win a game for sure, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, unfortunately for them, where they stand now, and like I said, this can change. Right now, they're the 5th seed at 12-2, which sounds ridiculous. And, it's the same thing as like the Packers being 3rd place in their division with 10 wins with 3 games remaining.
Wild.
But they would play the Rams. So I think that would be a really good game. Obviously, it was a really good game last time these 2 teams played. But it'll be huge if obviously they could end up, catapulting, over Detroit, because then your first round matchup is going to be a lot different.
Right.
You're playing someone like Washington instead, if you're the 2 seed even, but
I may even rather play the Rams. I don't know, dude. I understand maybe like Washington freshman year, Jaden, but like
playoff time. They're not ready yet, Tony. I'm telling you, I just have a sense.
I don't think
for
the
these
Rams
things.
are ready, dude.
But I just think you go with a first year with the team head coach and quarterback, or do you go with a head coach and a quarterback who have already hoisted the Lombardi Trophy and are one of the best teams second half this year, 7-2, the Rams in their last 9 games?
I think they were the best team second half last year as well. Where did they go?
But that was kind of, well, I think it was they punted or kicked a field goal.
That was the crazy game against the Lions. Yeah.
Against the Lions, yeah. So they were right there. The Lions almost got picked up with the Bucs. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't know. I just think whether it's Minnesota, I could see beating the Rams, but I don't see Washington beating them. But we'll see. It's just you don't usually see rookie quarterbacks, win that many playoff games. It's just history.
That's right.
Has shown us that several times.
Last year, someone did.
I'm blanking.
Jordan Love, right?
Was
it technically his for like?
Well, they wouldn't consider that a rookie year. He'd already made starts, so I'm talking like first. No, there is a difference though between being on the bench for a couple years. It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And on the other side of things for for the Bears here, the nightmare continues. Once 4-2, now 4-10.
They're trash.
Williams 18-31, 191, 1 touchdown. Keenan Allen 6 for 82 and a score, and Swift 19 for 79. It is a shame though, because I just feel like this definitely could have been avoided for a couple of things. First, I think going into the year, it was just extremely short-sighted of this organization. You're resetting. You have the number 1 pick. You have your franchise quarterback, and you're going with a defensive-minded head coach with a losing record, who's been your coach the last couple of years, who you really wouldn't have been surprised going into the year that you were going to fire him. So that's where I think the Bears went wrong. But also, they were talking about this in the broadcast last night. Joe and Troy, two of Tony's favorites, where, if you somehow, and I know it's like, well, you can't just like undo it. But if you don't let up that Hail Mary, you're talking about a 5-2 football team. There's no way, if that had happened, that they would have lost all these games that they have. It just completely shattered the team's confidence, and obviously got the coach fired eventually too.
Yeah, no, it definitely did, I suppose. And with Williams, I mean, we know, again, obviously like inexperienced quarterback here, something like that. Yeah, I guess really does kill the team. But I mean, I don't know, dude.
I swear the tape gets me every time.
Oh yeah, you're freaking out.
Not freaking out.
What do we have? 8 losses in a row, dude. I mean,
Yes.
I think there's a little bit more than just like, a tough Hail Mary loss last minute against the Commanders.
Well, though, but just pause for 1 second here. But just think about it in this regard: rookie quarterback, a little immature, and then doesn't have that veteran, established coach who's been there, done that. That's the problem. The leadership void.
But there's still people around him. Like DeAndre Swift is someone who's been around the league for a while. DJ Moore, right, has been around for a while. It's like, like other guys around his team, if they were good, would they not like lift this dude up? I don't know. I think it's a little bit more maybe than just.
But as well as I, this is a quarterback and head coach league. You can't be weak there. And it's not that they're weak with Caleb Williams, but they were terribly
with
weak
their coach.
with that Eberflus.
Yeah.
And he's a rookie, so he's just, you could tell, obviously, he's not mature yet.
When did they can him? After the Vikings game?
No, after the Thanksgiving game against the Lions, where they
the
did the
Lions.
field goal.
That's right, it was just the
Yeah.
Lions. So I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, wouldn't you anticipate something that's a little bit better now? It's like, Rangers get rid of Trouba. It's been a couple games now. What's the fucking deal?
I guess you know what it is, Tony. And we look at some of these professional athletes as superheroes, but I guess just some of them are just weak when it comes to just mentals, I think, honestly.
Well, I guess that was a little bit of a narrative of Williams coming into the league, right? That he was a little bit like his mental game wasn't strong.
He's not used to adversity.
But still, what the fuck is that, dude?
But I'm just
not used to adversity. Like the entire sport is an adversity. You fucking then get out of here, dude. Then they pick the wrong quarterback if you can't handle this.
I though truly believe, because this offensive. I mean, you just think about the receiver room, especially if they could re-sign Keenan Allen. You got Moore, you got Allen. Dunze is going to be a stud eventually. Swift is a good running back. I think if you get the right coach in here, I mean, you're going to be over 500 next year easily.
I hope so, dude. Because I mean, not for nothing, I understand that. I guess Caleb Williams, overall pick. There's going to be pressure on you, but like, there wasn't that much pressure. You're not coming into the organization. They're expecting you to win the Super Bowl, but now obviously, like next year. There are expectations now to be better than what you are now. So it's like, I don't know. Like you said, as long as I guess if they pick the right coach to help this kid, but I mean, he still has to help himself, I think.
I mean, I think as a franchise, it's a very similar situation to the Jets, to be honest. We always talk about they haven't had a quarterback since who?
Right.
Like, think about all the guys that have come in there, whether it's, Kyle Orton, Mitch Trubisky, Jay Cutler,
Justin Fields,
Rex Grossman taking them to the Super Bowl, Justin Fields. It just, the fan base is so starved. You can't go 40 years without a franchise quarterback, or longer than that, Tony.
Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, absolutely, dude. But then, I mean, that's not a great. I mean, you're not making me feel better about this. That even more makes me think, all right, well, Caleb Williams is not the guy.
I think what I'm getting at, and listen, these are shortcomings, but I think at the same time, when someone's 23 years old, these things can be fixed. And I talk about this all the time, especially in the NFL. Other sports, it's debatable what the impact is. Coaching is so important. Mm-hmm. You can't just get by with a coach. It just doesn't work.
Right. No, yeah, I totally agree.
So it will be interesting to see, what direction they go. But I almost think just from a comfortability standpoint, I would just go with Lincoln Riley, because he coached him at Oklahoma, coached him at the University of Southern Cal, and I know there's a big buyout there with the Trojans, but things haven't been great there. And I'm sure all these articles, well, I guess this is more just talking about next year.
Yeah, wide receiver recruiting.
But I would think,
rusher.
Being
Next QB.
being that they're in the Big Ten now, I think it's like he almost, when he took that job when USC was in the Pac-12, he went there because he figured, versus being in the Big 12 with Oklahoma, it'll be an easier road. And now it's, one of the hardest roads that there is. And it just seems like there's just so much animosity between the program, the players, the fan base there. So just something to keep in mind. I mean, obviously, it's just a big change for Lincoln Riley, going from Southern Cal, to Chicago. But you kind of have that link there. And it's like just with Caleb Williams, I mean, his most recent memories of being highly competitive and winning a Heisman Trophy, were with Lincoln Riley. So I think that's something to consider. And it'll be interesting to see because, like I said, I think this is a very fixable situation, and I think hand over fist, despite the pressures and the angst that the fan base has here, I think this is a far better job than the Jets job. Honestly, I really do. Not even close, really. Just because I think even with these little things with Caleb Williams, the raw talent is there, and that's something you can work with. And the offense. I mean, just those receivers. I mean, that receiver room, one of the best in the whole league.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only thing that you could say, tough division.
Very tough division.
But, I mean, you have surprises every year. And who knows, like, even in, like, a team like Minnesota, like, do they keep Sam Darnold? Do they go with McCarthy? What team has a ravage of injuries next year? There's so many moving parts.
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, just looking at the entire organization as a whole, it's like almost 1A, 1B in terms of just like shit.
Yeah,
kinda, right? Like,
yeah. It's hard to even say. I mean, I guess just because the Bears were in the 2005 Super Bowl, that gives them the edge over the Jets. Probably a couple more playoff appearances if I had to guess, but a couple wide rights and big whiffs on quarterbacks. I think that's been quarterbacks and coaches. That's been the common theme in both places. So be interesting to see, how they sort that situation out. And two organizations that will have situations to sort out after the season will be the Falcons and the Raiders. But the Falcons do hang on for dear life, surviving two Hail Marys at the end of the game to hang on 15-9. What do you know? Kirk Cousins, another interception, throws for 112 yards. One touchdown, one pick, sacked 3 times. A QBR, Tony, this is not a typo, of 9. So just does not look comfortable back
9.
there. Always been a favorite number of ours. And they, him and his coach, Raheem Morris, both acknowledged after the game that he needs to play better. But then I think actually Pooch was telling me yesterday, I guess I haven't listened to any of this yet, but, John Gruden on Barstool was saying, because everyone's saying, well, geez, I mean, if Kirk Cousins is playing this bad, why aren't they going to Michael Penix, the 8th overall pick from this year's draft? But I guess supposedly, that's just a, hint that he's not performing well in practice. But I don't know, man. I just feel like Cousins, it's like he has the yips or something. I've never seen a player just look so bad after years and years and years of looking like, a respectable, everyday starting quarterback. I mean, you look at the numbers this year, 3,500 yards, sure, but 18 touchdowns, 16 interceptions leading the NFL. And it's just like, that's something, we talk about like not being able to hide from your starting quarterback and head coach. It's the same thing with the interceptions. You can't throw a lot of interceptions and it's okay. It's always, no, it's not. So that's going to be an interesting situation to sort out. And it's like, if you're Atlanta, I don't even know, what you do here, because it's like you're still alive for the playoffs. You're still alive for the division, only one game back. But Cousins just looks horrible. And if it was up to you, Tony, what would you do if you were Raheem Morris here?
I'd get the fuck out of Dodge. I feel like with Cousins, right? Like,
But go to the rookie, even though.
I mean, not for nothing, dude. It's like, I understand. It's like Kirk Cousins. You've been in the league for over a decade, for a dozen years, really. I suppose you can put your time in, whatever, production, everyday quarterback, everything you were saying. But I mean, I don't know, dude. If you really look at the numbers, I mean, you're talking about multiple seasons with double-digit interceptions. Obviously, the production in terms of throwing touchdowns, yardage through the air, the amount of times, the amount of confidence you can have in him dropping back and completing a pass. But he's 36 years old now, so it's like, at what point? Like, it's not like he's going to get better necessarily with time. How often do we really see that? Especially if you're starting off like consistently at that level, there's no sign of progression, which again, every year has been, again, like you said, model of consistency. But, as these years are waning on him, different team this year. I mean, you watch him and he's throwing bad passes. Like, there's balls that are in the dirt. He's throwing behind receivers. He is a reason why there are some incompletions, and obviously you look at his interception rate, it's gone up, So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like that's the way he's always been kind of trending. The negative connotation of him in prime time and big spots.
He's 5-10 on Monday Night Football.
I mean, if you're never good in a prime time situation, like, that's something you can't necessarily teach. Like you said, if he has the yips in prime time and can't really perform, it's like, how many really opportunities are you going to give this guy? Which is why Minnesota moved on, which is why Washington moved on from him. It's just now he plateaus at that level, and it just seems that in terms of a career and a status within the league, he's kind of hit his ceiling. So, I mean, the only way he's going to go down is down. That's really the only way his game, I feel like, is going to go. And, have his inevitable retirement at some point. So, which again, it's whatever, dude. He is, like you said, a consistent quarterback, but I mean, he's not leading anyone to a Super Bowl, right? I mean,
but the problem is, I mean, they gave him that contract, the 4 years, and it's like, I think the
crazy.
thought was
Off the Achilles injury.
We'll definitely be able to trade him, if we need to after this season, or if Penix needs one more season, which, Penix, what is he going on, 24 years old now? I mean, how many seasons you gonna want him to sit out? So it's just like, I almost wonder if that plays into it too, that they're just hoping, like, over these final 3 games, that he could, he could turn it around so they could get rid of him. But I think the whole plan just wasn't sound from the start. Like, if you knew you were in love with Michael Penix, you should have just signed anybody, like, you know what I mean? That's just like a lower cost veteran quarterback.
Anybody.
Literally anybody. And instead, to give all this money to Cousins, I guess Arthur Blank, is desperate to get back to the playoffs. And it's a shame, too, because I had to say, Tony, I think this team with a competent quarterback would actually be really good.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of some of the wide receiver, Drake London, that's right, dude. I mean, he was all over the place, obviously. Bijan Robinson, your guy, running up and down the field.
First 1,000-yard season, 125 yards on the ground last night.
Kyle Pitts, like, they have Ray McLeod. All these guys are capable of making big plays and big catches. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, dude. It's not like, what exactly are you trying to accomplish really with Cousins? I mean, even in the first place, because it's like, it's one thing to be like, oh, like, I guess you overpay for Cousins. He can chill with Penix a little bit, teach him. Maybe Cousins puts in a good year or two. We're in playoff contention. People are maybe more, enticed to come to Atlanta, bring in other players, maybe a better coach for Penix. But obviously, that's not the plan that's working out. So it's like, I mean, not for nothing, dude. I think. What's their schedule the next couple of games?
Let's actually take a look at that.
Here. They are up versus the Giants at home, in Washington, and then back home against the Panthers.
I mean, so I think that means they're going 9-8, right? Lose to the Commanders, and I think they beat the Giants and the Panthers. There's no way the Giants are beating them. No way. Yeah. Giants are beating nobody.
I mean, not for nothing, dude. I think that at this point, like,
maybe
why not start Penix these last 3 games?
I think because it's literally you want to get that. Get him Cousins out of there. You need him to play well. So, you know what I mean? And then they probably look at it, oh, well, against the Giants, like, let's have him drop back 40 times and maybe he'll throw for 400 yards.
He probably will. And even, again, against the Panthers probably too. 4 years, 180.
What was it? 100 guaranteed.
100 guaranteed.
That is like definitely one of the worst contracts I've ever seen.
That's fucking wild.
And Michael Penix is going to turn 25 before the start of next season too. On top of it, not that like he's got the grades coming in, but it's just what I mean. How long do you really want to sit him? You know.
I mean, you think any? Yeah.
I was thinking initially, like, because I was assuming, like, Rodgers is going to be gone or whatever, that like the Jets would take him or
Cousins.
Like, yeah, no, because I was thinking, Rodgers is done, so like just before the rookie gets in there, and thinking he was going to be the productive Kirk Cousins that we've seen, not this version that's just a shook turnover machine.
Yeah, but who's like? I mean, I guess regardless. I mean, Atlanta has to pay him that $100 million regardless. Like they can't negotiate their way out of that.
No. But it, you know what I mean? And then it just gets into the situation where, I mean, I guess they could cut him, the huge cap hit, or he's just the highest paid backup in NFL history. Because I just feel like it's so short-sighted to not play Michael Penix next season, just because like you're stuck.
Like
with
what the
contract.
hell, dude? Any chance that they like Arthur Blank is like we're stuck with him and they unload Penix?
No.
No
Definitely
shot.
not. No, because you take a guy overall, you have a vision, Tony.
No, yeah, I mean obviously, but
Yeah.
like clearly you fucked it up a little bit. I mean, not for nothing.
Well, I knew it from the start. The whole strategy, like it's like I said, it was one or the other. You don't do both. And if you were gonna take a quarterback, it should have been in the middle rounds, not the 8th overall pick.
Yeah, kind of ridiculous, dude.
So
They're a
it'd be
shit organization.
interesting.
What a
and-
shitty game to watch, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Except for the last 30
that's why,
seconds, I guess.
That's why you have to put a wager on. Otherwise, it's terrible, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So technically, they're still in this thing, but they're gonna need some help. And
Throw a couple shekels up there. Could be a nice
and they're
payday.
gonna have to beat a Washington team that's likely gonna be in the playoffs on the road. I don't know. I just don't see that happening. Another fascinating situation is
Fascinating.
what the Raiders are going to do. I mean, Pierce still seems like jacked up on the sidelines and stuff, and I'm sure Mark Davis has had it, kind of like Robert Kraft in Arizona the other day. But you have no quarterback. Most likely, you're going to have a top 3 pick here. I mean, I could look at Tankathon, but I want to say they are number 2 right now in terms of the draft. And it's interesting because you feel like you have conflicting reports in terms of Dion staying at Colorado or package deal with Shador. And actually right now, which is just crazy, you look at this Tankathon list here. So the Raiders who are on a 10-game losing streak. So the fact that they were 2-2 and then just dropped 10 in a row is absolutely ridiculous, and had that misfortune against Kansas City on the Black Friday game. Giants have lost 9 in a row, but they're slightly ahead here in terms of the number 1 pick. But I mean, do you think? And Mark Davis always likes to make like kind of the headline move, the sideshow. I mean, do you think that's what they end up doing? Like doing Sanders and Sanders? Quarterback and head coach?
Oh, God, dude. It was so funny.
The hair,
dude.
kind of looks like Jim Carrey.
You really think so?
His father.
I guess he could play. I mean, I just don't understand. I guess when you're really worth that much, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. I'm sorry. What was your
Just if they go Sanders and Sanders, the Raiders.
I guess. I mean, what else are they going to do, really? Like, what else? Like,
But and I know, again, like you're not like following it tooth and nail, but I just get the sense that Dion's staying. I mean, that's what everyone's saying. Like the players, he's getting high recruits. So it would just be a 360 for him to just leave. But I don't know if he just wants to coach his son. But everybody like Shador has been like retweeting Raiders stuff when they lose and everything.
I mean,
so.
not for nothing. I mean, really more thinking about it, though, it's just like what, I don't know. As an organization, do you really want to put that, like you said, sideshow?
But it's the Raiders. That's what they love. They love that. His father, Al Davis, loved that, Tony.
And then I guess he's going to do it, I suppose.
He took
right?
a kicker in the first round.
That's wild.
And it was always, I swear to God, they would always talk about in the NFL draft, like it's like, oh, well, this is what, we have the Raiders scheduled to pick. But we know with the Raiders, even though when it seems so obvious, they love to do the exact opposite of that. So, like, for instance, Al Davis, like his drafting strategy was always like, okay, we're not going to take the best player. We're going to take the fastest player. Like, and it doesn't matter how good he is. If he has the combine record, we want to take him. Like, and that was the thought process.
That's kind of wild, dude.
But to me, it just seems like a mess. And I forgot that our very own couple comments, actually, which reminds me, your mother had checked in, said, hi, fellas. Michael saying, goats, happy RLUSD day. XRP up and up and up and going and going and going. And Kev Dew says, stop talking about Raiders. And I'm actually kind of interested, Kev Dew, because it's a mess. It's a 10-game losing streak, but obviously it's good for the organization just in terms of that they need a quarterback. But I'm curious, like, do you want, Shadur and Dion? Is that the plan? Like, what do you want to see happen with the Raiders? I'm kind of interested to see what he's going to say about that. What do you think? Do you think I feel like he doesn't want Dion, if I had to guess.
He just seems really salty. He says you should throw stones at your glass house with your sorry ass Jets, dude.
I mean, I love when people try to go there with the Jets.
Really
it's like,
dude.
I go there with the Jets. Like,
I mean, honestly, dude, if I were to guess, put on my Kev Dew cap here, I think he would love the Sanders play.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Vegas. There's a lot of shows, right? Already?
Yeah, I guess so, dude. But, like, what a fucking shit show, dude. Like, I'm not for nothing, too. Like, an organization like that's in Las Vegas, it's a tremendous opportunity and potential. And you're going to go around, and it's like, I don't know, man. Again, I mean, like, wouldn't it be a similar outcome to what Colorado's, like, with less, I feel like, less things to entice people to play for them? Not for nothing, because obviously all these college kids, Colorado, like, the money, the eyes, the notoriety, like, for a young guy like that, for a young kid, young college student, that works, but, like, that's not going to get NFL players to the team.
I guess just the fact that, like, Dion could just say, well, I mean, I made the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I've won Super Bowls.
No, yeah, he's going to do his press conference. The shades will be on, the straight face. I'm going to win. I'm doing I win. I'm going to win. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like, gummied out, chalkied out, whatever, dude. Like, he's ripped. And he's just like, yeah, I'm just here to win. We're just gonna be to winning, all right? It doesn't really matter who's talking at the end. We're gonna be winning, and it's just like, all right, dude. Like,
well, and I just wonder though, and as we guessed, he doesn't want the sideshow, which is interesting.
Oh,
but I just wonder. So if Dion doesn't take the job, and the Raiders, let's say they have the number 1 pick, the number 2 pick, and it's like they're gonna get him, and obviously this would be decided before, but like, what head coach would want that task of coaching Deion Sanders' son? Because I just feel like the pressure, the kind of intervening, Tony, right? I mean, that's got to be a negative, no?
Yeah, no, it definitely would deter me from being the coach, I suppose. But I mean, like you say all the time, there's a certain amount of jobs here in the NFL for head coach. I don't care if it's the Jets or whoever. Like, someone's gonna be interested to take that on. There are plenty of guys who would be earning for the opportunity to be a head coach in the league. So I'm sure somebody would, if not Sanders. So I guess we'll see what happens, I guess, dude. But like, if you're a Raiders fan, you gotta have like a pit in your stomach, dude.
Well, the only hope you have really at this point is Brock Bowers.
Yeah, who was great.
That man is unbelievable, and whatever quarterback they select is gonna really be. That's gonna be their favorite. I mean, he might honestly, especially because rookie quarterbacks, they usually lean on the tight end. He will probably set the reception record for tight ends next year.
Yeah, you're probably right, dude. I'm just looking at Amir Abdullah numbers because he was having a good game last night, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's been around a while.
Yeah, I didn't really know. I guess he went to Nebraska.
First or second round pick.
Second round pick to Detroit back in 2015. 31 years old. But But hey, I mean, he caught his first receiving touchdown last night. I think had 7 receptions for 58 yards. Plus
Yeah, a lot of check downs. Desmond Ridder, nervous.
Ridder was very nervous. Ridder was also getting it was a couple of times he got popped, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. What would you say if you had to give me something though, between the Falcons, the Raiders, and the Bears next 5 seasons, who has the brightest future?
Oh, Falcons, Raiders, Bears. That's really tough, dude. I mean, I guess the Falcons.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna say that too.
No, go ahead. You're gonna.
I was just gonna say, I like the rest of their team. Like their defense is playing well. Bijan,
Great
feels
runner.
like. I mean, obviously he's a different type of player, but he feels like in a couple of years he's gonna be, or even next season potentially, have Derrick Henry type of numbers. Saquon
I can
type
see
of
that.
numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he has a good line in front of him,
And a quarterback who's
certainly,
a threat to throw the ball down the field, to play action.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And obviously that's a lot of dependence there. Definitely 3 teams you're looking to next season to really turn it around here, especially with the way the Falcons I think they would be winning their division, and honestly, with the way the Bears with beginning of the year as well. But yeah, I really don't see the Raiders really turning it around as much as the Bears or the Falcons. And honestly, Williams.
You're questioning.
I'm questioning it. Going to be a lot of pressure next season. Yes, head coach will see. But it's like Falcons, like you said, there's no way we're going to get a full season of Cousins next year. There's no shot.
Who's an interesting name, and I don't know. I think he's kind of been non-committal either way, but they were talking about potential Jet head coaches, and I had mentioned to you about Gruden, that would be interesting, seeing him return. And this could be for any team. I was almost thinking about with the Bears, I feel like a guy, and it would probably be, only for a couple seasons, because I think he's 73 now, Pete Carroll. He wanted to coach this year, but he'd already said he was done, and then they didn't let him back. Feels like there's some unfinished business there. The Super Bowl, gaffe, with the interception against the Patriots. I mean, I would love him on the Jets, but I think any team, I don't know why you wouldn't. I think he is a culture changer.
Yeah, I would think so too. And, someone who obviously has tremendous amounts of experience. And you said he was 73. I mean, the man, moves like he's 63.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think he can run a faster 40 than me.
Literally, probably, dude. You see him sometimes, chomping on the gum, sprinting up down the sideline. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I would love. I mean, again, talk about a guy who's, Jesus, what did he start coaching when he was 20 at USC or whatever? The guy is know nothing other than coaching football. So yeah, if you're a Jets fan, I would be clamoring at an opportunity to have him as your head coach. But I mean, I don't know. Do you think that it's kind of an open book for him, or you think he has a specific team or quarterback that he wants? If I'm going to come back, I'm going to coach this right now, and then we'll see what happens, sort of deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's going to be particular,
Yeah.
but and obviously, they'd have to mend the fences. But just something that comes to mind with the Jets would be Rodgers. Also, kind of a redemption story for both of them. The way Pete was kind of shown the door in Seattle, and I know it was his fault initially for saying that he wasn't going to come back, but also returning to the Jets. It would be returning to the Jets, Tony.
That's right.
31 years later, after he had one season in which he went 6-10. So, I think that's something to keep in mind. And I know, 73, he'd be 74 by the time the season kicks off next year. But I don't know, just give him a 3-year deal, guaranteed maybe for only the first year or two. It kind of brings someone along that you have in mind is to take over, to learn under him. I just think he's a culture shifter.
Yes, no, I agree with that. However, I mean, the only thing I would be worried about is if, Rodgers still being around. I mean, not for nothing, we did see them, or Pete Carroll, I should say, butt heads with Russell Wilson, maybe some ego involved, whatever. And not for nothing, I don't know. It seems like that there was maybe both of them were at fault.
I think it was Russell Wilson in that situation, for sure. Because it was Pete Carroll didn't want to throw the ball down the field as much because he was throwing interceptions. You know what I mean? Russell just couldn't, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, the way I hear Mike Tomlin talk about Russell Wilson now, it makes me second guess it. especially even so with Russ coming in and doing well. I don't know, man. But regardless, I mean, don't you think even if it's Pete Carroll's fault or not, I mean, there's gonna be an issue with Aaron Rodgers, right?
But you don't think this year at all, even for the ego of all ego,
No.
Tony, is a little bit just
No humble.
It has to be.
No
though.
humble pie. He says, no, thank you. I'm full. Check, please.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think you could say one thing, but you think another, and I think that's the scenario here. He could, on
mean,
the
he definitely
outside,
does that.
Aaron Rodgers,
Slimy.
he didn't do anything wrong this year, and nothing is fault. He could say all of that stuff.
Greasy bastard.
There's no way inside that there isn't that humble pie. I'm sorry.
I
It's
don't know,
and that's
man.
what would make him a greasy bastard, to be honest.
I think that he really does think that he's still he's all good.
But the funny thing is, like, I don't know though. I still do kind of question. Not saying that he's like that good, but I also think he's actually like not that bad. Like, I just think the difference is Aaron Rodgers used to be Superman. Doesn't matter what the scenario is. We'll have 5 undrafted receivers. We'll figure it out. The defense might not be that good, but I can just hit receivers on the money. So he doesn't have that in him, but I think perfect situation-wise, I think he could still succeed and do better than he's done this year, to be honest. Or Schitler.
I mean, yeah, you can't get much worse than this year, and I'm sure again. I mean, maybe there is something in Aaron Rodgers that says, "Hey, I gotta maybe change something." But like you said, I mean, the ability to work with young receivers, no-name receivers, obviously is beyond him this year. And you're saying this phrase in a perfect situation. I mean, that is anything but what the Jets have coming into next season, So it's just, and I feel like bringing in Pete Carroll, I don't think makes it a perfect situation. Maybe for other people, maybe for the future, but not for Aaron Rodgers. And until you find until you get rid of Rodgers, I think it's going to be really tough for any coach.
So
to
give
get
me,
in there, dude.
there has to be somebody though. So then who's the coach?
Who's the coach?
Yeah. Nathaniel Hackett.
With Aaron Rodgers, it may have to be, dude. Like, I don't know. I feel like
Vrabel?
if you're keeping Aaron Rodgers,
Vrabel with Hackett as the offensive coordinator.
I don't know, dude. I mean, it's I don't know. It's
McCarthy?
I don't think so. I don't know about McCarthy, dude. Yeah, I don't know that. I just don't really have an answer necessarily, but I mean, it's hard to see a coach that'll be able to come in here and run his own offense, right? I mean, there's no way. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I heard you listening to DNR this morning. They were almost like talking like it's like it sounds like they're going to like bring him back, but like things need to be a certain way or something. Did you hear that or no?
Things need to be a certain way. Bring Aaron Rodgers back.
Yeah.
Like Woody is saying that we'll bring you back, but we
Like
need
just
certain
with like
things to happen.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that'll be good, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not. I understand at this point you're kind of stuck with him because I really don't. I don't know, man. I hate to talk about like, oh, I try to get Sam Darnold for 3 years or a quarterback that's like a placeholder for someone else to learn behind him, but like, I mean, that's just a terrible idea. I think.
Anybody that has some type of expectation of playing, it's hard to envision them being behind Aaron Rodgers. That's the problem.
Exactly, and not for nothing. Like Green Bay tried that, and wasn't Rodgers tight about Jordan Love
when they first drafted him? Yeah,
like very tight.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And again, like you said before, it's like Rodgers can say something but think something differently. So it's like really hard to understand how he even feels about a certain subject because the man is just entirely all cloak and dagger, dude.
Yeah. Does I'm sure we'll talk about him when we see him, but does Jay want him back?
I don't know. It's a great question, dude. I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think at this point he's like, yeah, like what else? Because I would think it. I mean, honestly, not for nothing. Like if I hear like any Jet fan that would hear Sam Darnold, like, would you not want any part of that, dude?
Well, you wouldn't bring in Darnold with Rodgers. You can't.
No. I'm saying, but like if you're getting rid of Rodgers, looking for a different placeholder, yeah.
Well, it just depends. If you're bringing in a wizard, a head coach, yeah, but that has to be if Mike Vrabel's coaching, no. I'm telling you, that is why
I'd bring in Pete
Darnold
Carroll
has
at that
succeeded.
point. Darnold and Pete Carroll. That sounds good.
But with a good offensive coordinator. It
Sure,
has to be.
sure. Yeah.
So,
But even so, Pete Carroll, there's the means to communicate and operate with someone. Rodgers doesn't really have that, I feel.
but maybe he respects him just a little bit because he's. won
Does
the Super
Rodgers
Bowl.
respect anybody, dude? Honestly.
Nathaniel Hackett, Devontae
Um,
Adams,
Yeah,
Alan
which is
Lazard.
so weird, dude. Yeah, Alan Lazard, stop. I mean, I guess though it's tough too because especially right now, it's like you kind of want wouldn't you want to keep Devontae Adams, right? But there's no way he's going to be sticking around if
without
Rodgers...
Aaron Rodgers. So what's your percentage that
But see,
Aaron Rodgers is starting quarterback week 1?
I would probably say at this point 70%.
Me too.
But see, like, even the fact that that's even a thing, though, that if Rodgers leaves, so does Adams, that makes me want to cut Rodgers even more so, dude. Because I don't know. It makes the fact that Rodgers is able to sink his teeth like so far into the organization, bring his own people, and it's just been absolutely nothing other than a failure. It's just like so.
Well, and the crazy part about this, I was just looking at the numbers here. So far in the year, 32-55, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks. His quarterback rating is 90.8, but his QBR is 53.9. But that 53.9 is actually almost 12 points higher than it was his final season in Green Bay. So it's like it's just like I said, it's the evolution of Rodgers where he goes from Superman to more of, he needs the guys around him to really step up and accelerate him rather than the other way around.
But he has the guys around him.
I think he doesn't have though the
Offensive line?
Offensive line, yeah. He really doesn't.
He doesn't.
No.
But come on, man.
Yeah. But and too, what they were mentioning this, like he's always kind of had poor mechanics. But it was like, oh, well, he's just able to do it. And I think that's something too, like the back foot throws and stuff. And I think maybe if he got away from trying to do those ridiculous throws, that he'd probably do better. But again, muscle memory, what you're used to, all of that. Crazy situation though. But I would say just work it out with Carroll, dude, honestly. Because I think Vrabel will get too tight. At least Pete's having a good time. You know what I mean? Or Gruden, honestly. I could see Gruden figuring it out.
I could see Gruden I can see Gruden coming in here and being so fucking crazy that Rodgers is like speechless, and then they can figure something out. But I think Pete Carroll can get tight,
I think but like I said, there's just something about the redemption story. It will almost be similar to Tomlin and Wilson this year. And I know the season's not complete, but that's almost what it reminds me of with Carroll and Rodgers. Or Gruden and Rodgers. Gruden and Rodgers even more so, just because
Gruden and Rodgers
blackballed
makes more sense. Yeah.
So
They're both getting blackballed.
I honestly, like, I know, like,
Gruden.
we want to just get rid of
Gruden.
Rodgers, but no, I'm saying Gruden with Rodgers, like, it would actually be kind of like interesting.
Yeah, no, I think that's the guy, honestly.
Yeah.
Like over Pete Carroll at this point.
Yeah.
Like I think Gruden has that look in his eye that he can like handle Rodgers.
And he's
nonsense.
so ready to prove everybody wrong. You know it.
Yeah,
know it.
dude. So, and then, honestly, it would complete the full circle of just talking about the clown show that's going on. Like bringing Gruden, he can stick with Barstool. We can still get Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show again now, and it'll be like one big like happy.
But
family
imagine,
there.
and again, yes, it's not going to happen. But just could you imagine if somehow lightning in a bottle, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, Gruden next to
Lightning
Rodgers.
in a bottle, Tony.
That would be the ultimate, like the craziest NFL story I think of all time.
That'd be the craziest sports story of all time. Yeah, dude, let's go for it. I think that's what we're gonna be pushing.
Yeah, we'll talk to Jay
The
about this.
run and then John Gruden, dude. The run for John Gruden.
The run with Gruden. Oh,
Gruden
man.
2025.
Needless to say, it'll be an interesting NFL offseason. The draft, we'll get the soundbite going. But week 16 will begin 2 days from now.
Wow.
In Inglewood, SoFi Stadium. The Chargers, losers of 2 straight, going up against the Broncos.
Yikes.
Who I believe started 0-3 and now are 9-5, and a
Nix.
comeback win
Peyton.
over the Colts. Peyton, Nix, all of that. The defense, Cortland Sutton. So that'll be an interesting game. But just first thoughts, I feel like we're gonna be opposed on this one. And like again, we'll say what we say on Thursday, but I'm leaning the Chargers in this one just because I think they are a good team. They've lost 2 in a row. Knicks was playing with fire with the 3 interceptions, last time. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I guess so. The only thing I would say is yes. Listen, I respect the Chargers and all, and I don't want people at home to watch this. And I know Brian's thinking of it. Oh, Tony just hates the Chargers and Harbaugh. No, but I will say I've been kind of hot on Bo Nix. I want to say the past 5-6 weeks or so. And not for nothing, dude. Chargers last 3 games have scored 17 points.
Yeah.
They're going to have to score more than that if they're going to win.
Oh, of course they will. But it's just, I think, everybody has a stretch where they don't score well. But I just think they're too good. They're not going to lose 3 in a row. Harbaugh, he's going to throw three interceptions against Harbaugh. See what happens, Tony. Okay? It's like Dan Hurley coming in there.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, watch out.
So yeah, we'll talk about that. But definitely exciting times in the NFL. But let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. Great hit. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rick Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pasternak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. So National Hockey League last night, light slate, only 3 games. And it's funny how you look at things. For me, it was evident that I was completely surprised. My predictions yesterday, 0-3. The Stars 3-run over the Caps. The Panthers 6-5. We're talking about an exciting game over the Oilers, almost reminiscent of the Game 7 there. And then the Canucks, dominating the Avalanche here 3-1.
Yep.
I know you picked all of them, but any of these results standing out as more surprising than the next, or what do we got here?
I guess so. Maybe the fact that the Oilers-Panthers game was so high scoring. You think of the goaltending, Bobrovsky can handle it, but not for nothing. That's exactly how the Cup final was as well. Lots of high scoring games. So maybe that was a surprise tonight. Not again. Canucks. Kevin Lankinen, good goaltender for the Canucks. I was talking about him yesterday. Hot. Avalanche don't have a good goaltender. And then, Caps, hottest team in the league, best team in the league, due for a loss. Stars, Rupe Hintz, dude, 2 goals there. Brian, Mike and I started watching that last night. Definitely it was some high, intensity hockey right away.
Speed, a lot of speed on the ice.
Physicality, chances left and right, saves left and right. Obviously, Caps ended up scoring first. But nonetheless, dude, it is crazy to see All right, we should be back
I
right
guess
now.
I guess we're back. Sorry about that, folks. But
Internet's down right now on the hotspot,
working on a
dude.
hot spot. And I. Sorry about that, folks.
Working on it, dude.
But and it was interesting. Actually, I just had seen this before that Tommy asked if anybody stayed up to watch the rematch of the Stanley Cup. Rogers Place last night. Wild game. We mentioned the 6-5. Was that on TNT?
Thank you, Sharon. Wi-Fi's rebooting. Power went out, dude. Was it TNT game? I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, but was the Stars game?
No, maybe it was the Oilers game here. Let's see what we got going on here.
But
In any case,
seems like a pretty exciting game though. But just the body clock. I'm sure it ended quite late, and it looks like we're back with the Wi-Fi. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
But kind of interesting. You had Florida up 2-1 after one. But then you had 4 goals, 3 by Edmonton in the second to make it 4-3. And then, of course, Florida coming on strong and outscoring the Oilers 3-1 in the third. And goals all over the place. And no goals for McDavid, but 3 assists. Just a lot of goals here. And Florida, after having been shut out, you kind of called it, Tony, that they weren't going to stand for that, and it would be a different outcome last night.
Yes, dude. I mean, not for nothing. I mean, this is a team. It's funny because that both these teams kind of picked up their matchup where it left off as well with the high flying, high octane, high scoring. Tommy talking about Zach Hyman taking the slapper off the face, comes back in with the little fishbowl helmet, face mask on.
Hyman, animal.
Zach Hyman is a great player. He is a total
would be great on the
dude.
Rangers.
Many players would, dude.
Would be way better.
Would be way better, but nonetheless, great win here by the Panthers, dude. I mean, they do with what the Panthers do, dude. And that's score in big moments. Obviously, third period, scoring 2 goals within 30 seconds. Nico Mikkola, dude, former Ranger actually.
Yeah, came over from the Blues, right?
Came over from the Blues, yeah.
With
Sounds about
Tarasenko.
right. Yeah. I don't know how or whatever to Florida, but regardless, he nets one early in the third. Sam Reinhart, after that unassisted, just, again, does what he does and changes the course of a game. And, I mean, just like that, I mean, that's how the Panthers get into games and have, ends up with big dubs against teams where you would maybe think they could lose. But nonetheless, here's the Panthers proving everyone wrong that they're, probably going to be back in the Stanley Cup again, dude.
Yeah. I mean, they are humming. And then, the Canucks, I thought that was, an impressive win for them. 3-1 over the Avs.
That dude had a hat trick.
Sherwood.
Yeah,
not familiar with him. And then Thatcher Demko, Tony, looking like Patrick Waugh.
Oh, my God. This is
30
first start in
31.
a while, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was starting.
I know he was out for a while.
Yeah, he had a knee injury, dude. That's probably his first. That's got to be his first start back. Right?
It seems like it.
Returning from the knee injury. That's kind of wild, dude. That's huge for the Canucks, by the way. Like that guy, last year, a big reason why they were in the playoffs was because of Thatcher Demko and the way he was playing the regular season. So, that's actually a huge get, dude. And then now, even at that point, I was saying their backup tender, Lankinen, also really good. So, Vancouver Canuck team that started off slow, 16-9-5, had some injury, had some, JT Miller was on leave for a little bit. They have a full healthy squad now. They're going to be super dangerous, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And who knows, maybe they'll add people at the trade deadline. And speaking of that, I'm just curious if our Ranger insider, Tommy, is hearing anything about what the Rangers are doing now that it seems like Kachuk is not in the cards. And I don't know. It just seems like Drury continues to have his face buried in a hot oil pie, Tony.
I mean, they're good.
They are good, but
I
it's
have one
like,
right now.
I just feel like, though, I hope this doesn't cost us down the stretch by not making these whatever moves that are going to be made sooner.
Yeah, no, I totally agree,
It's a little
dude.
concerning.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not an apologist here, but I would like to think that Drury is gearing up for some type of, package or plan to bring somebody in, got some guys out of here. Because, I mean, he knows he's got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, that's evident, for sure. But Marshall Schultz, Saul mentioned it yesterday. They got to hone in on him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, we're going to see him tonight. And honestly, the fact that the Predators aren't doing well, and not for nothing, if you look up and down their roster, they have several journeymen around the NHL. Marshall being one of them. I don't know, maybe he's 33. Obviously, Stamkos, 36 or some odd, 37. Off to a terrible year, too. Philip Forsberg, the Predator for lifer, Roman Josi as well. All these guys are 35, 34 years old. It may be worth for the Rangers to take a crack at it. I mean, the Predators, again, off this, middling year, they're probably going to look to replenish some of their youth. I don't know who their guy is. I don't think they have any highly touted, I don't want to say highly touted, but they don't have like a top 5, probably top 10 draft pick who's young right now. Like, I don't think any of their young 20-year-olds are highly touted draft picks. Again, that's kind of come and gone for the Predators. I think that's a big reason why they're not doing well, too, is because they are a very old team and relying on those veteran guys, and sometimes the veteran guys don't really show up. So I wouldn't, unload the farm for Marshall Schultz here, but I think it'd be worth to bring him in. Again, talking about him being old and, hockey is growing to be a young man's sport here. It's almost like a step backwards. I mean, anything is going to feel like a step backwards for the Rangers at this point, dumping people and trading for Jonathan Marshall Schultz. But, hey, I don't know what his contract is. Did we say he's going to be a free agent next year? No way.
I think that wasn't that the list. Yeah, 33 and will turn 34 in 10 days.
Wow, dude. 5 years. He makes $5.5 million. Unrestricted free agent? No, dude. He must have just re-signed. So we have him for this year, 1, 2, 3, 4 more years.
He had 42 goals last year, though.
No, listen, he's a great player. And obviously did well for the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm not sure where he was before then.
I just had the stats up.
Not Colorado.
It was Columbus, Tampa Bay, and Florida.
Oh, that's right. He was on Tampa. He's on Florida. He's on Tampa with Stamkos, probably like 2014, maybe.
2014, 2015.
Yeah, so, and that's probably why they brought in Stamkos, too, with him. He's on the first line. But they're just not doing well, dude. They got to figure something out if you're Barry Trotz.
I guess they're doing better than us because they're favored -135. But talk about the lows of all low, Tony. The Rangers being underdogs against a team that's 8-17.
I know, and the Predators of all teams, you're kryptonite, dude.
Oh, yeah.
But
jeez, we're fucked.
Yeah, you never pick well when the Predators are involved.
Good morning, Nelson.
Good morning, Nelson. What's up, dude? Stoked for the Rangers game. I hope you are. In terms of why they're not, obviously Rangers aren't playing well right now. But still, neither are the Predators. So it'd be interesting, Trap? I don't know.
I don't know. How do you have confidence in anything at this point?
It's really tough, especially when, Marshall Schultz could get 3 goals. Stamkos could have a power play goal that swings the game. Even Forsberg. I think Josie's out. I don't know if he's coming back today. I don't think he played over the weekend, though, against Colorado. They have some young guy, too, who probably has like 4 points in the last 5 games or something like that. Let's see. I was looking it up earlier on. Tommy Novak, dude. Tommy Novak, third-line guy. Wow, Gustav Nyquist as well is on there too. I didn't realize that. He's got to be probably 35 years old. He's on Detroit for a while. Brady Shea is another year older. Luke Shen is got to be 35 as well. He was on Toronto way back in the day, I want to say. Ryan O'Reilly was on the Blues in their 2018 Cup run. He was on Toronto before then. This team is really freaking old, dude. Not for nothing. Frickin' Tommy said it too. Let the young guys fly, dude. You should be able to beat the Predators with speed tonight, dude. That's probably the way to do it. Stamkos undoubtedly, has lost a few Probably MPH is in the slap shot, dude. Obviously, it's not working out for him. He's got what is he? I think he's like 8 goals, maybe 16 points in a year.
He started out like not having a point for like 10 games.
Literally, dude. And when you think about it too, I mean, he's been talking about a model of consistency with the Lightning. He's getting 80 points every year, probably.
Yeah.
And for him, I mean, I guess that's probably what. I don't know. It's interesting. You think of that trade back then too to pick up Stamkos. Like, what were the Predators almost thinking? I mean, I guess you're betting on him having a good year. That's what you're thinking, obviously. But to add another veteran player to your roster, it's like, I mean, maybe they were thinking they could win now.
Yeah, Trotz thinking with the old school mind.
And again, I mean, if this team can limp into the playoffs, they could be able to turn it on. We've seen Stamkos do that with the Lightning, even. But I mean, it's going to be a hard road ahead of them. So I don't know. We'll see. I got confidence that Rangers are dogs.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Like,
I don't
let's
have
go.
my confidence.
No, let's go, dude.
No,
Bet
shattered.
Josh B, dude. I gave you. Did I give him?
I don't think you really gave him anything.
No, I thought I said plus money. Was it Vancouver? I think it was Vancouver.
Oh,
was
maybe
plus money,
maybe
dude.
yes.
And I said Vancouver plus money. Rangers plus money. I think this is it, dude.
Like, meaning that's it in terms of
like this is gonna be a big win. The young dude, maybe Bedard, another goal. Second
Kakko,
goal
another
in 3
healthy
goals.
scratch. They're talking about he's good as gone.
Really?
He was healthy scratch last game.
That he was. Yeah. I mean, I guess so. Why not, dude? Healthy scratch him. Hedl goal. Lafreniere. Like, let's get some things going. Dude. Will Cooley, dude. Maybe even a Lindgren goal. Gutsy. He figures. Maybe he feels it out. Power play. Even if it's 5-on-5. See something. Goes for the net. Finds deflection in there. Lindgren hyped. And Rangers chalked this one up to a dub. Predators looking like prey, dude.
They better, Tony. That's all I have to say. But we have 10 games tonight, so let's do a Tuesday night edition of the Frozen Frenzy.
The Tundra, the Tuesday Tundra, dude.
At Lumen Field.
Lumen Field. No Lumen Field tonight, dude. But we are starting off at the Bell Center in Montreal, 7 p.m. The Canadiens taking on the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres, who I believe, Brian, are on a double-digit 10-game losing streak right now. By golly, dude. When will they get it right? It could be tonight. They are minus 125 going into Montreal. The total here is 6.5. I'd be interested to see where Brian goes because he kind of gets a little riled for both of these teams. Suzuki, Caulfield, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, dude. What do we got?
A couple of years ago was riled for the Sabres, but they've disappointed me in every which way since.
Tonight.
So give me Montembeault, give me Suzuki, give me Caulfield, give me the Bell Center, give me Montreal, Canada, Tony. And I think vintage Montembeault. I'm going to say that losing streak continues for the Sabres, and the Canadiens shut out the Sabres 3-0. Canadiens in the under.
That is wild, dude. I love the pick for the Canadiens. Last time these two teams faced, Suzuki and Caulfield both netted 2 goals. They won 7-5. Kind of crazy game. I think a little bit of an opposite in terms of the over-under. Canadiens, Montembeault. I think they win, Brian, by a score of 4-1. Canadiens and the under Suzuki, Caulfield, 2 goals each. Let's fucking go, dude. Next game here, 7 p.m. Speaking of Stamkos, we're going to Tampa Bay Lightning, dude. Taking on the Blue Jackets. The Lightning, despite not having their former captain, Nikita Kucherov here, 46 points, 14 goals, 32 assists, picking up where he left off last year with the Lightning. Vasilevsky looking pretty good, 2-4-1 goals against, 2 shots of the year, which is why Tampa Bay minus 250, over under 6.5. Lightning here, winners of 4 of the last 5. Blue Jackets lost 4 in a row.
And this is going to actually have to do with my prediction here, but I just saw in the comments, Alan, great to have him here, says that we love shutouts, like he loves prop bets, right? Same thing.
That's right.
And I love shutouts, and that's why I'm going to say the Lightning, Vasilevsky, turning back the clock, inferior opponent, tough road arena for the Blue Jackets. So I'm going to say Kucherov, hat trick, already has 46 points this year.
Wow.
Vasilevsky, 25 of 25 in net. 5-0 Lightning in the under.
Al is churning in his seat right now, dude. I know. I guess I will follow suit with that one. Yeah, give me Lightning in the. You say over?
Under. Shutout.
Oh, the shutout. That's right, dude. Oh my God, the shutout. Sorry. Yeah, Lightning in the over. No shutout. Lots of scoring, but Lightning put up a 6 spot on their own. Lightning in the over. Next game here. Let's go to the PPG Paints Arena. Michael Buckta, where is he? Could be at the game tonight,
with Doc
dude.
Emmerich.
The Penguins taking on the LA Kings here. Penguins home dogs plus 120, over under 5.5. Kings been hot, wins of 4 of the last 5. What do you got in this one, dude?
Pretty easy here. Penguins, no way. I mean, I know they win games sometimes, but the Kings, better team. I know the road record's a little spotty, but so is the Penguins' home record. But Kopitar dialed, Tony. I'm going to say 2 goals and an assist here. Kings 4-2. Kings in the under. Was it 5.5 or was it 6?
5.5.
Over. Kings in the over.
Give me Kings in the under here. I say Kemper gets the start, and that's a shutout here. Kings,
You love shutouts.
I love the shutout here. No shutout for you, shutout for me. Kings go 2-0. Kempe, Kopitar are your lone goal scorers. Next game here, let's go to Carolina. Raleigh, the Hurricanes taking on the Islanders, dude. The Islanders lost to Chicago over the weekend, and I'm pretty sure they gave up like 2 goals in the third period. Classic Islanders, am I right, dude? They're plus 190 here in the road. Over-under is 5.5. And they did beat the Hurricanes early December here, 10 days ago, 4-3. What do you got on this one, Brian?
It's interesting as the losses stack up. I was thinking, Watt's seat's getting hot, but I was talking to Corey last week, big Islander fan himself for a long time, and he wants to keep him. But I just feel like as the losses stack up, you would think that Lou Amarillo and Isles ownership would get a little impatient. This is the playoff rematch, a series that the Hurricanes won 4-1. And speaking of 4-1, I'm going to say Hurricanes 4-1 here. Nikas, 2 goals and an assist. Hurricanes in the under.
Honestly, I really thought you would say it, but I'm going to say it here. Kachekov shut out, dude. First of the season for Allen, dude. He improves his record to 13-5. And the Hurricanes improved their record to 20-10-1. Next game here. Let's go 8 o'clock time slot now. We'll go to St. Louis as the Devils come in there. A little red versus blue classic as they take on the Blues. Devils minus 185. Over unders 5.5. Devils back in late November got shut out 3-0 against the Blues. Devils certainly looking for some revenge. Are they getting that tonight?
You look at this matchup. Devils have won their last 2 games. Blues have lost 3 out of 5, but beat the Rangers last time out. I'm going to just go with another upset here. The Blues, I think, figured something out last time these 2 teams played, and I think that carries over for today. So give me the Blues winning this one. I'm going to say 5-3. So a little off game for the Devils. Blues in the over.
I love that call for the over. Give me the Devils, though. Hot team. Jesper Bratt, team leading 41 points. I say at the end of tonight's game, he has 44, dude. All coming from assists, setting up Heister, setting up Hughes, setting up Mercer. Why not? Devils move on to win 5-2. Devils and the over. Next game here. What time are we at? Still 8 o'clock. And we're going to Nashville, baby. It's the Bridgestone Arena as the Predators get ready to take on your New York Rangers. Rangers, Josh B, plus money, 115 on the road. Let's go. Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em. Over-under is 5.5, dude. Predators, just like the Rangers, have also lost 4 of the last 5. Brian, what do you got for this one, dude?
I mean, just put me out of my misery already. I'm just telling you, I am not. I'm looking at the upcoming schedule. I'm not taking the Rangers for a very long time if they lose this game tonight. So I'm going with it. The confidence is not high, but I'm just thinking for avoiding sure embarrassment because of the losing and losing and losing more. Supposedly Panarin Aaron will be back. We talked about Kako, maybe a healthy scratch again. The young guys, Berard and Cooley, and obviously Laffy. So you hope they step up against this team full of grizzled vets. And I'm going to say Rangers 3-2 in overtime. Berard, the game winner. Rangers in the under.
Rangers in the under. I love that call there. There's a poster board in the Predators locker room. It says it has been 12 days since the last time we've been shut out. Tomorrow morning, that gets set back to 0, Brian. Igor Shesterkin, even though he may not be starting, I don't know if they were talking about giving him a break. Regardless, it's a shutout victory for him. Cooley, Lafreniere are your lone goal scorers of the Rangers. It is a 2-0 victory. Laviolette does not even crack a smile. Next game, dude, what is it? No, sorry, Blackhawks and the Capitals. Chicago here. Washington coming in there -2 hundo. Over under is 5.5. Value +170 in Chicago. I wouldn't take it, Josh, but if you want it, it's there. Caps have won 4 in a row. We mentioned defeating the Sabres the other night. Blackhawks, we mentioned, beat the Islanders the other night, but they're kind of dead in the water. Capitals, what do you got, dude?
Yeah, no way the Blackhawks win this game. As Matthew would say, they suck ass. So I don't care about the back-to-back. I'm going to say, actually, the Capitals embarrassing the Blackhawks here. I'm going to say 5-1 and Dylan Strome with the hat trick. Capitals. And what was it, the total again?
The over, 5.5.
The over. I don't know why I keep getting messed up on that.
It's all right, dude. We're stumbling, we're rumbling, we're getting through the frozen tundra friends over here on this Tuesday, dude. Let's go Capitals. Absolutely no way. It's chalk here in the -2 hundo. Caps, you say over? Caps in the over. Book it. Brian,
Better
next game,
tonight, honestly.
10 p.m., dude. Calgary, the Flames, Scotia Bank, dude. Taking on the Bruins, which is interesting. Boston coming in -125. Over under is 5.5. Brian, both teams coming off of wins here. Flames, an emphatic 3-0 victory against Florida. They keep the good defense and goaltending going here against the injured Cubs.
Don't have confidence in either team. But I just think the Bruins are better. And for that reason, and that reason alone, Tony, I'm going to say they win this game 3-1. So we're going to go Bruins in the under.
Yeah, I don't know. Kadri had some sick goal the other night, I think, against Florida, looking pretty good. I'm going to say Calgary Flames torch the Bruins here. I'm going to say by a score of 7-2. Bruins, no defense, spotty goaltending. Hubert Dow, dude. A couple goals tonight. Why not for Tommy? Flames and the over. Let's keep it moving here. 2 games left. 10 p.m. time slot. Seattle, the Kraken. It's not Lumens Field. It's the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, dude. Ottawa -125 coming into Seattle. The over-under is 5.5 here. Senators have beaten the Kraken once this year in the one time they faced 3-0 shutout. Kraken, a little wonky, though. Senators 3-game win streak. What do you got, dude?
Yes, Seattle 1-0 in a shootout. So a defensive battle between Joey Decord and Loomis Olmark. But we're going to say McCann with that game winner. Seattle winning the battle 1-0. Seattle in the under.
Seattle in the battle. McCann. You say McCann. Say McCann, dude. Give me the Senators here on the road. Why not? Olmark shutout. Joey Decord pulled first period, dude. Senators win 5-0, dude. Next game, last game, best game. The Sharks, dude, of San Jose take on the Winnipeg Jets. By God, by golly, it could be a bloodbath, Brian. The Jets -215 coming in here. Over under is 5.5. The Jets, I guess losses of 2 out of the last 5. But the Sharks obviously not looking good. 11-17-5. Is it chalk for the Jets?
Believe it or not, it's
Stop
honestly
it.
because of the Vegas
Stop
line here.
yourself.
It's sketchy. Why are the Sharks? I understand they're at home, but +180 seems more like a +280 to me. Just for that, I smell a rat, Tony.
I smell it.
I don't know why they got embarrassed 8-3 last time these two teams played.
You're gonna be embarrassed.
But I am gonna say that Granlund has the hat trick. The Sharks 5-4 in a shootout. Sharks, the heavy dogs in the over.
Oh man, Alexander Georgiev.
Sketchy line.
Sketchy line, dude.
Sketchy
He's a
line,
good tender.
dude.
San Jose. Imagine he has a fucking ridiculous performance. But you can keep imagining because it won't happen in reality. Give me the Jets here. Georgiev pulled. Why not? Second period. Gives up 3 goals in each. Jets win this one. 8-3. Jets and the over, Brian.
And just like that, your Tuesday Frozen Frenzy is over, Tony. And let's just say we better be recapping a Ranger victory tomorrow. I don't know what
we will be.
I'm gonna do because I can't take it anymore.
Don't worry about it.
honestly
We will,
cannot
dude.
take it. But come on, can you just that aside, your comments about tonight, can you just not take it anymore? It's been that
Literally,
bad.
dude, the Predators fucking suck, dude. And they're
Yeah.
old and they're slow and their goaltender's questionable as well. And like not other than Laviolette, former team, get in there, get the job done. The only question I will have, dude, is there going to be a sick hockey parlay for you, dude?
No, I don't think today's a
Not
parlay.
going to press your luck, dude.
I don't think I have it in me. Seems like Michael Bucka has some comments in him. A little late, but better late than never.
That's
right?
what they say, dude. Morning boys, he says. What are your predictions? What I was like when Hurley turned down the Lakers. We know what you were like.
Through
You
a
told us,
wall,
dude.
and you did tell us, yes.
Yes, absolutely phenomenal stuff. Shout out to Josh B. and Kev Dewey says we definitely can agree that 110% I am Dan Hurley's #1 fan. He says, Barnes, forgot to tell you that but I had a dream that we were in the beach in California for the day. Then I went straight to Disney.
That's every day, Michael. That's every day.
Every night, dude, he dreams about that.
So a couple storylines here to close out.
Really?
One thing that flew under my radar, and I guess right now they're doing that whole PGA, LPGA Grant Thornton Invitational, so that's in progress. But what
It's
I
a
think,
co-ed thing?
yes.
Oh, cool.
What I think is attracting even more eyeballs, though, they're doing the match, okay, between Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau versus Rory and Scotty. And you could stream this on Max. It's on TNT, and it starts at 6 o'clock today. And they're playing at Shadow Creek, and that's where Tiger has had his match against Phil in the past. But what's your thoughts here? In terms of who's taking this home. It's either Bryson and Brooks or Rory and Scotty.
That's kind of a crazy matchup, dude. I like Brooks, but I don't like Rory. I guess Brooks, Koepka, and Bryson, right?
Yeah, no, I
Right?
like that one too. Rory just seems like a little I feel like he doesn't have that dog in him.
He doesn't, dude. And I feel
Yeah.
like watching Scotty, even though it's like they're playing together, he's gonna be like, damn. You know?
Yeah. Be interesting though. I do like these things, and
He's
I
a dog.
I honestly think there should be more of this stuff in the golf off season. I think it's like very exciting, and I guess there's gonna be 3 different formats this with like best ball and stuff. But I wish it would be just low score per golfer. Like just keep that 18 holes, because sometimes with these matches they do 12. I guess this will be 18. But don't you think that's the best way to go? Rather than like a
yes.
best ball, an
Absolutely,
alternate
dude. Yeah.
shot,
Let's make it legit and just
Yeah.
classic golf.
and who has the lowest
Whatever
score.
the format that they have. Yeah.
So just wanted to mention that. Also, Sacramento State, Tony, which is a FCS program, moving up to Division One, versus Division One AA is what they used to call it, or the FBS as we like to say. Meeting with Michael Vick.
Wow, yeah, just
potentially
read that,
taking over
dude.
that program. I'm sure going for like a Dion like effect, and I guess
That's-
$50 million into the football program to renovate the stadium to get it up to FBS standards. I honestly do like it. I understand sometimes you're taking a risk here, a guy who hasn't coached at the collegiate level yet, but I love it honestly because I think nobody knows football better than those who played it and those who exceeded at the highest level.
That's
and
wild.
it's not
I
like he's
guess
going to Alabama or Georgia.
Right. I guess he's sporting other. It says Michael Vick in talks to become Norfolk State
Yeah, it's
head coach, or he's
but-
shopping around.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Oh, it's good for him,
hot
dude.
commodity. Yeah, but it seems like there's been more juice anyway from what
Right.
I've seen for it to be.
But it's
Sacramento
not so like,
State.
but like he is actively going out looking to coach though. It's not
Yes.
like Sacramento was just like, yo, we'll pay you, just come over here. Man.
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Interesting. I mean, I guess good for Michael Vick. Maybe he can, put a new spin on his name.
But I think when you start these smaller schools like Dion did with Jackson State, I think it's a good idea. Honestly, I really do. Especially because a program like that no one, maybe you've never even heard of, it puts them on the map, and I love that.
Yes, it does, dude. But I mean, it's good for the sport, good for the team, good for the school, good for the kids who get to make the money now. Michael Vick, wah 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 wah. Yeah, so it's nice. But I mean, yes, dude. Let's bring more colleges in the mix.
Come on.
No, let's get another bowl game going, dude.
We're gonna actually mention that. 'Cause there is
dude,
a
let's make a new
bowl
division,
game.
dude.
We've already had
The
two
Big
so
Ten.
far. But tonight, 9:00, we have the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, as you can imagine. From Frisco, California here, or no, Frisco, Texas. My bad there. I was thinking of Fresno. But this is going to be at Toyota Stadium, 9:00 on ESPN. You have the Memphis Tigers coming in at 10-2, ranked 25th, and they've won 3 straight bowl games by double digits, tied for the longest active streak in the FBS. West Virginia limping in, Tony, at 6-6. And conditions right now, they're saying 63 degrees, so it should be quite comfy there in Texas. And if you look at this, Memphis won their last 3 games. West Virginia lost 2 out of 3. Seems like they have some defensive problems, giving up 52 and 49 in those 2 losses to Baylor and Texas Tech. Memphis -6. Seems like it should be more, but I guess just sometimes with these bowl games, you never know. But looking at their roster, talent at the running back position with Anderson, 17 rushing touchdowns, over 1,200 yards, on 6 picks. Versus what West Virginia has to offer. I think this gets ugly. Honestly, I think Memphis blows the doors down. The total set at 60. I say Memphis wins this game. Let's go 42 to 21. So I'm going to go Memphis in the over. And I know it's painful for you, Tony, to even think about it. But if you had to, what would you say?
I mean, I guess I would also go with Memphis, right? I would go chalk here. Memphis -1,000 should be the spread, honestly, dude. Just like what you were saying. I mean, West Virginia, the Mountaineers here, limping their way in at 6-6. The production isn't there, right? I mean, it's just like you compare even like their leading players here. I mean, it's at every facet. Just like Memphis Tigers are better. Have these 2 teams played this year? No.
No, because Memphis is
it's fucking who cares?
in the American, and then West Virginia's in the Big 12.
So I mean, good for Memphis. They're probably gonna run their way to a nice victory here. So over 16.5 points, maybe.
I'm just thinking they might score almost
Memphis,
that themselves.
honestly, put it up like a 40 burger. West Virginia, 23 points, maybe. There you have it. Memphis over.
Enough with the comments, dude. Even
what do you mean,
Matthew
dude?
has said, not this type of bowl game, whatever, but he does like the big games, the conference championships, and the playoffs. So I don't want to hear it, Tony.
No, I mean, how do you expect me to have any type of juice for this bowl? I mean, not for nothing. Like, and these 2 teams,
You have to bet. That's what it is, though, honestly.
That's what I mean. Like, what?
But then when you do that, though, it is honestly kind of fun. Especially you, a couple pops, the horseshoe, the Guinness, Jeff, the pool. You definitely would have a good time watching this game. That's all I'm saying.
See, I don't know if I even would. If I
No,
even,
nonsense.
I would have to
It's
bet.
like watching the XRP meter. You're telling me you don't get riled.
First of all, it's
when you're
not like
having your-
watching XRP, dude. In order for me to even like care about the outcome, I think I would have to bet all the money I have on this game, and then I could be like,
Nonsense.
oh, like
everybody
this
gets
is kind of fun,
riled
dude.
for a couple
And
shekels.
these two teams, fucking Crisco, Fresno, I don't even know what the bowl is, but two teams never face each other. One team is 6-6, one team is 10-2. I'm supposed to be, you're telling me it's gonna be a landslide? I'm supposed to be excited for this? Like, come on, man. It's a fucking Tuesday night too. I'm watching the Rangers game.
Yeah, but I mean, are we?
I am. I will be, dude. I know you want to turn it off. You rather watch college. It's fine. I will be watching the Rangers, even if it's the end of the period. Even if they're down 10-0, I'm still going to watch the Rangers game.
And going from one topic that you love to the next, tomorrow, UConn's starting Big East play against Xavier. So we will
That's cool.
talk about that tomorrow. That's going to be at the XL Center.
Xavier in Connecticut.
No,
am I
Xavier is
thinking-
in Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah,
okay.
but
I'm
Xavier
thinking
is a
of-
high school in Waterbury, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I saw that.
So just wanted to mention that. We'll talk about that tomorrow, but definitely excited for the Huskies. I think now up to 11 in the AP poll, which is exciting, after those 3 losses in Maui. So, we'll talk about that. And then also, not that we care, of course. Oh, he said it's Middletown, Michael Bucca on it. NBA Cup tonight again, one of those things that we're humming and hoeing about. But the Thunder versus the Bucks there. So I guess Oklahoma City 4.5-point favorites. But I just the Doc Rivers edition of the Bucks just doesn't seem to
Of the NBA.
sit right with me, even though they've won their last 3 games. And this is going to be in Vegas. But I think the Thunder all day, even with Chet Holmgren out. Tony, don't you agree?
It is tough that Chet Holmgren is out, but yeah, right. I mean,
And then last thing, and talk about the monotony that you're referring to,
Or Shitler.
did you see the Logan Paul McGregor have agreed to a fight? Enough.
Stop
with the
it, really?
exhibition fights. Oh my God, I just can't take it anymore, Tony.
McGregor's next fight, he's in talks with
Boxing.
Logan Paul.
Oh, why do UFC fighters have this obsession with boxing? You want to know why? Because there's more money there.
Because
That's
they
the
make
only reason.
millions and
Yeah.
millions of fucking dollars, dude. Like, of
But
course
it's
they
such a.
wanna
But
do
why
it, dude.
why does it? I just hate that people give into it. Because if they didn't give into it, it wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, we can start a boycott, dude.
Well, I mean, I think we've already kind of started it, no?
Yeah, we're not really doing too well, I don't think, though.
You don't think so?
I mean, who boycotted McGregor's last fight? Who boycotted Paul's last fight?
I mean, I've never watched any of these fights.
I watched the fight. I watched it.
Yeah, but I thought you were done after you watched the Tyson Paul fight.
Yeah, I am now.
Okay, good. So the
Yeah.
boycott isn't. No,
I think that there's more juice there though than college football.
that is
That's
such a
tricky to say.
lie.
That's really what I
that's
think,
not even
dude.
funny. But you know what I would give you that has more juice than both of those things would be 8 o'clock binge buddies. You saw me in the comments. I would think White Lotus. I didn't even realize the trailer was out.
Yeah,
you already
dog.
watched. the
Yes, I
trailer?
have watched the trailer.
Juice on the trailer.
I fucking love it, honestly,
Yeah.
dude. The cast, I wasn't really sure of the full cast. I had some names, that trickled in, but the cast looks great. They're in Thailand. What's gonna happen, dude? Like this, it's gonna be a 6th season.
And
dude.
it seems like, I mean, I guess I don't have a range of actors and actresses I know well, but it doesn't seem like too many like well-known people in this. No.
No, the dude who looks like a fucking skeleton, he's a bigger name. He's been in a few things. He's been in a few like FX shows, a couple movies here and there, but like side characters, Michelle Monaghan, I think I saw in there. The woman who's in Debut. There's a couple like older actors who have been in like cult classic movies, like not famous but good quality stuff, which is great because that's exactly what you want. You don't want it's not made to be a show where you're getting big name actors. You're getting older actors, veteran actors, people who have had good substance to their acting career. And that's what has made the first 2 seasons of White Lotus great. And I think that's what's going to make the 3rd one great because, again, I mean, it's a new story every time, too, so it's kind of fresh, but it doesn't feel like they're following like a script or like a format of like this, murder thing. So it's good, dude. It's good.
You know, it just reminded me of the whole Vic. I didn't need to do it, Vic. Who's the person that was in the last one and then like she like dies because she's an idiot?
Jennifer Coolidge, the blonde
Yes,
woman. Yeah,
that
yeah.
ending was kind of like.
Yeah, I didn't like
don't
that
know, like,
much.
haha,
yeah,
right?
right.
Like I don't
Like,
know.
Crazy.
But yeah, it was cool the last one, having her in there
Yeah.
and Michael and Pirelli.
Right, yeah, that was sick.
That was awesome. So, yeah, hopefully it's good. I didn't watch the first one for whatever reason. I watched
you'd
one
like it.
episode with Sam. Didn't think I would like it, but then watched the second season with her. Liked it. So yeah, we'll give this one a try. When's the release there?
Don't know.
Oh, so it's not anytime soon, right?
No, it actually must be soon. I think it's the start of next year, maybe. White Lotus season 3, because I mean they released the trailer. It's got to be soon, February 16th.
Okay,
we go, dude.
gotcha. So
Thailand.
that it is. Michael Butka, his cousin went to Xavier in UConn by 15 tomorrow night. Let's go. And I told you, Michael, I am juiced for UConn, juiced for the run. Let's do the 3P. I know the odds are against us, but as I said at the Garden the other night, UConn Huskies, and that we'll do it for today, Tony. But we appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe.
Suck it, Matthew Ryan.
All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume. The merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Binge Buddies. Let's go Rangers! And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.